It's actually a very, very sad day that we just keep having to meet with so much regularity in this country for targeted mass crimes that are taking place, because that is what the Manipur is. It's targeted, it shows state apathy and negligence, and I think with every violence that this country suffers, regardless of which community is the target, or which tribe is the target, or which caste is the target, the levels of immunity and impunity grow, and the braveness of a state extends to more and more different areas. Today, I think that only 60 of what the people of Manipur have been going through since May 3rd this year. May has, of course, already given us a vibrant trajectory of what has happened, so I will try not to repeat that. But I will like to emphasize that out of these 86 days, can you imagine since the people of Manipur, I believe, virtually every day except maybe 2 days with an internet ban. Now very over 140 officially claimed lives have been lost. Maybe at least 4,000 plus women have experienced acute gender violence, apart from our TKP sisters and others we've seen in those awful videos. Why am I starting to talk about the continent? I'm starting with that because I believe until we understand the levels at which the state is going, and it started with Jammu and Kashmir sense, it did not start with Manipur. And the order of the Supreme Court in Aminata Haseen case, where she challenged, among other things, the internet ban, unfortunately does not look at the legality of the ban, but again looks at the question of whether it is limited or not, or whether it can be rectified or not. Point being, we should be asking as citizens, just imagine Mumbai as a day without any internet for a week. It's not just about watching videos and getting your WhatsApp message. It's about access to services. It is about access to schools, medicines, jobs. It's about access to each other in the moment of acute conflict and crisis. And it is about stemming rumors and fake news. The Chief Minister of Bandra said on the 19th/20th of July, infamously, that this video is not very shocking because there were many such instances coming. I mean, I've never heard of a whole brazen and shocking statement. But I would say it proves that the ostensible state justification, which it brought out in its notification of 21st May, 24th May, and repeated in June, that curtailment of anti-national activities through social media and curbing of social violence in the recently walkers back. Under what we know, without any specific law and order issue or occupied issue, can the government have a blanket ban in all of Manipur's 18 districts? The law is very clear. Telegraph Act of 1885, the Telecom Act, the Information Technology Act is very clear. It was to give a specific reason why you need to stop at ban the internet. India is today, last 5 year figures, the largest world offender when it comes to internet ban. And I'm sorry if we talk about this, think about this relatively bland issue, because unless we respond to this before you know it, just like happened during the anti-CAA protests and during the farm protests in Delhi, any part of India can be subject to this kind of matter. So citizens in Mumbai need to speak up for Manipur and demand an end to the internet ban. That is very, very much. Citizens of Mumbai and India need to speak up and ask that the state open churches camps and open up with FCI godowns so that every family that has been displaced and is going hungry is given adequate rations. In Gujarat, we had to do this as well. None of the camps that ran in Gujarat were run by the state government. It were all run by community members, because the state did not allow itself to show that there was anything wrong. In fact, the number of ones like 68,000 displaced in Gujarat, though established by the NHRC and others, was never accepted by the state. And we've gone several steps worse than there, he has already said. So I'd like him to look at this issue. I'd also like to, I'm deliberately proudly what a very, very close friend and a senior priest, Walter Fernandez, wrote to the Telegraph, and then into an extremely brave interview to the Wire current number, where he said, please understand what the government tried to do. It's an armed area. Arms are falling, there's traffic again. And the government ensured free flow of arms to undeniable terms. And in the initial periods of the conflict, they tried to foment a Naga conflict. Because the Nagas are cookies in the hills. And as been said before, large area of Manipur hills, 68% of that area is forestry and park. Whereas the assembly seats, out of the 60 assembly seats, 40 are in the valley and 20 are in the hills. So the power is with the people in the valley. And yet I see friends, when we speak about the gender violence, when we speak about the targeted violence, and we want my peace and the cookies O's and the Nagas to dialogue with each other, we have to also see that not every Maki is a violent person, not every Maki is a rapist. We need to see that. However, the kind of cynical play of violence at the best is the state that is responsible for its application. At the state has, by not allowing, by not taking the steps that is constitutionally required to remove, we need to establish command responsibility. And that is what we tried to do after Gujarat. I know many of you in the audience are part of the movement to get a kind of a bill enacted, to get a kind of a role enacted, and that's the other issue I put in plan. Where command responsibility becomes automatically applicable whenever there is ethnic, intercaste, or intercommunity conflict. So that the administrative head of that district, so that the police head of the district is immediately, civilly, and criminally responsible. Politicians, yes, but I talk about the administrative heads. We're talking about the SP, we're talking about the director, we're talking about those who administer those districts need to be responsible because they are filing servants paid by every taxpayer of this country and they need to be held responsible. So these are the issues that need to be flagged. Land and identity is always been a major issue for the states in the Northeast. And land and identity is an issue all over the board. It's also an issue in India. And I think the rich land, which is now going to be made open under the First Proclamation Act, which will be brazenly pushed to Parliament 2 days back, which we had referred to, was not referred to with one parliamentary currency. Objections were not taken to Adivasi groups and ethnic tribes as to how to impact on their lives. There is one other bill which says that 100 kilometers of the international border. And if your land within 100 kilometers of the international border, it can be taken over by the state in the name of infrastructure. And that lies behind about the loss of lives and the dignity. An 80-year-old people married to a freedom fighter was burnt alive. I mean, there's so many horrific stories, which ones to be buried and which ones to be leave out. How many children have been displaced? What will happen to schooling for 86 days? What is the state of hospitals and public health centers and primary health centers? Our medicines reaching the people who need them? Of course, these are critical issues, but equally critical is the issue of the brazen attempt to use this conflict to grab land. And what will be done with that land? What will be done with that land which is rich in preservation of ecology and forests is either downward reduction. Because we had a huge convention in Manipur a year and a half back, with the chief minister say we want Manipur to lead so that we can take over the exports of palm oil, and 3 large industries are making for that land. And there's also minerals which have been talked about. So yes, there is that. But there is also the issue with the cookies hooks and Nagas, licenses. And if you look at what a section of the far right communal forces, we are very familiar with mainland India, North-East India. And I'd like to name one particular organization which is at the fountainhead of this big divisive ideology. It's the ideological backbone of the present government, the Trustee of Assam. And it has manifestation, the Aganyabai Thing War, the recently reform. We have these manifestations in the world. They're not mighty groups, but there are certain sections who are trying to engender this. We suddenly see the hashtag mighty Vaishnav coming up with those media, which is the concept and order to the top. But you're trying to build up a mainstream Hinduize a section that, see the service, but it's not the same Hindu-Christian or the Muslim dynamic that you see in the rest of it. So there are many, many layers to this entire conflict. At the heart of it is a huge man-made tragedy sponsored and looked upon cynically by a state. I would invite each one of you to look at so many options. Armed Forces General, Indian Navy, healings on the region of the Arctic to spoken out against the government and said that what is happening is a shocking application of responsibility. So where should go from here? And how can it be sitting in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, etc.? I think one way is avoiding doing what Smita proposed ESI did. She had an organization called ENI, a news agency as well, and I am being senior journalist, which are very known agents. But it's today become a complete propaganda wing almost of the country. And about 4 days back, somebody else stayed this week, it tried to suggest that one particular aspect of a global conflict, there was a Muslim behind it. And the Twitterati and the IT style of the BJP worked so far, the poor man got arrested. Till somebody pointed out from the fact checkers who sit fortunately in India that this man had nothing to do with that particular crime. But he was arrested very formally. Whereas those who are responsible for that heinous video, we are told 14 people have been involved, but we don't know which 14 people have been involved. And there's been hardly any culpability put on the crime. So, cynically to use even this episode, trying to engender an all Indian Muslim creed, is something I would invite the Christian community of Mumbai also to look at. Because I think, at one sense, the Christian community is lucky. There is not so much anti-Christian hatred in the rest of India against Christians as has been cynically engendered against the Muslim community for generations. And so the resilience will not be so vicious. But for those of us who have worked in the area of women's rights, minority rights, gender rights, and children's rights, regardless of who is the victim, but with particularly empathy when there's an ethnic minority or religious minority or a caste minority involved, we can see the battle. And therefore, I think when we, as our arts reach out as they must and shape to what's happening in Manipur, let's keep connecting it out to what happens with the rest of the country, how many districts and where internet bans are taking place, how even in a district like Kedah, in Ahmedabad, so-called used after laws by the police, and it is celebrated. It is celebrated, see this the way indeed with criminals, because the police have decided who those criminals are. But that's an aside. I'd like to come back to Manipur. And I'd like to also mention on record, because I am 50% still a journalist, or 60% still a journalist. And thanks all and salutes to organizations like The Wire, News Minute, Scroll, and others, and so many other independent journalists were not just list things, but continue to valiantly bring us the truth of a very, very difficult soul, which is mine. And I think this is what we need, not to spread those WhatsApps which generate fake views on it, but generate the stories that actually increase our own understanding about a region that we do not know much about. All of us are learning about that region. Fortunately for me, Citizens for Justice and Peace have been working in Assam for 7 years now, in depth, working on the issue of citizenship. So we have developed an understanding, and we know that we have to measure what we think when we look at inter-ethnic conflict compared to other general reaction to the Western India. So when we were having a discussion twice, some few of us were there, from Manipur, and we said, how can you help us? And one of the suggestions we gave was that please add regular civil society broadcasts, where the various sections of civil society and citizenry from Manipur across ethnicities, diverse voices speak up, in which there are young people, enough women, and they bring us those accounts from there with regularity, every week, every 10 days, every fortnight. We are hoping that actually operationalizes very soon. But I think that many of us who have access to organizations, small and big, who can send relief on the application in whatever form to general organizations working in the medical camps, we should come forward and do that. Because the situation for medicines, children's clothes, books, and food, even sealed at all, is very, very harsh. Thank you so much for the very patient hearing.